All right, so we have gone over investment strategies, vertical investing for both the Silverwolf 9s as well as Evanescia already. And I've seen a lot of comments initially already just on the Silverwolf. I don't know about the Evanescia one because of the fact that I'm making this video before the Evanescia team options is even out. But I do think it is very warranted to go over two specific characters, that being Sparksy and that being Yao Guang. And before I really go over what they are fully capable of doing, I think it's important to really understand what exactly SW9s and Evanescia really want and what they need to accomplish, like a certain criteria for them to really be noteworthy in terms of characters. First off, and I'm saying this right now, I have a screen open on the other side just to go over the stuff so I have the information, completely correct. For SW9s, the primary focus you want to do is to get into her ultimate state and get into the invincible player mode. In order to do that, you need to gain hidden ranking points so that you can activate the ultimate in and of itself. How exactly are you going to be gaining the hidden ranking points? Well, the biggest aspect outside of just because she quite frankly gains an inherent amount just from entering battle and her elation skill, but to get the most out of the character is you want, as much as you gain punchline, you are going to gain an equivalent amount of hidden rankings. So that is the crux of what exactly Silverwolf wants, and that's the biggest way to get to her most raw damage is to get into that invincible player state. And you want to be getting punchline because it is important to get the equivalent for the hidden rankings to get to that 80 threshold so you can get into her invincible player / ultimate form. Now, Evanescia, in order to further boost her own damage, unlike gaining punchline, you want to gain certified banger, as that is going to be further increasing her overall damage output and also boosting her crit damage, because you will convert some of that crit damage into her her certified banger, her elation damage bonus. So that's how she's going to be further enhancing and enabling her own individual damage. So we have the basis for both SW9s and Evanescia out of the way. Now we can go ahead and start talking about what exactly you need from Sparxie and Yao Guang, because quite frankly, Hoyo did all of us dirty and putting on the 4.0 banner two characters who are very pivotal in further maximizing the 4.2 characters, depending on whoever you want to go for. We're going to start with Sparksy here. And what is Sparksy's main premise? And that is using lots of skill points, increasing your punchline maximum to further enhance the aha instance. And how she does that is like I said, just by consuming, if I can go to traces, I believe it is one of these. I don't remember. I just kind of just play the character. It is further just consuming skill points as well, but you can also see here her bonus ability is that you are going to be gaining additional punchline based off the ultimate on the how many elation characters you have. And if I can, I don't know why I can't find it right here. You can see here that randomly gains one of the following gifts: straight fire, 2 punchline points and 2 skill points for every time you are in the enhanced basic attack. Because what she does, if you don't know, is that every time she gets into a state where she actually, you just spam skill points, and it further boosts the amount of elation and overall raw damage she's able to do. And you're also able to consume what is known as thrill instead of skill points, so to help further even boost the aha instance, because every time you absorb a thrill, you are going to further enable how many punchline you get. So that's why a lot of people are considering Sparksy as SW9's complete best option, because of the frequency and the rate in which she's able to produce punchline. Moving over to Yao Guang, what does she do that is so good? It's really based around speed, but we can go ahead and just check out what exactly she is going to be doing, right? She is going to be enabling skill point generation, which is very good after using the elation skill, but that's not really the main premise or function of her ability. We can see here that she is going to further boost and enable the elation damage based off her own individual speed, which is very, very good. Also allowing enemies to get inflicted with a status, the Woe's Whisper, to allow them to receive more elation damage. Granted, that's based off of her own physical elation, so it's not necessarily the greatest. Another thing she's able to do is through her skill, she's able to create a zone and increase all allies' elation by an equivalent to 20% of her own elation, which is okay. It's not the best, but you know, it is what it is. Another thing that's very good is that she gains Certified Banger. Its duration is increased by 1 turn, just flat. Inherently, that's what she does, right? Jumping down here, we have Great Boon. The attacker elation is lower than that of Yao Guang's. That is instant elation damage. Okay, that's not really necessarily the point. The point with Yao Guang, and I know I might be rambling, but I'll be honest, the last time I really looked at all this stuff is when I was doing a build guide, but you know, it is what it is, right? The main point of Yao Guang is just further enabling and boosting the damage dealt from elation instances. And a big thing with Yao Guang, quite frankly, is her light cone, because of the fact that when you get Great Fortune based off of your ultimate, you're going to allow the crit damage increase, which is very good, but importantly for honestly not only SW9s but also Evanescia, is that you are going to be boosting crit damage, which is absolutely huge. And then, as I said before, Evanescia really thrives on crit damage increase, so having a passive, pseudo-passive 30% crit damage increase from her light cone is very important. So saying that, let's move over to Eidolons, and as you can see, I just don't have them. I just wanted E0 S1 for both of them. But E1 for Sparksy is very good, as when the aha instance ends, you're going to be gaining 5 punchline. Every 1 punchline owned increases all type res pen for all allies by 1.5 up to a max of 15%. Very, very good, as initially when she was released, this was good just for her, but E1 is actually a great supporting capability for a SW9's team. We also have number 2 is that she's able to gain 1 extra turn upon the completion of an aha instance and gain 2 thrill. Then, as I said before, the thrill is very good because that acts as a skill point consumed when she consumes 1 thrill. So once that aha instance ends, you're able to immediately take action again with Sparksy and use all your skill points and thrill to further increase your punchline capabilities. So honestly, E2 is probably the best stopping point for a sub DPS / supporting character for SW9s. And just, you know, after using the ultimate with E4, you gain 5 punchline, really good, increases her own elation by 36%. Not the greatest, but you know, it is what it is. And then E6 is all type res pen by 20% for all enemies, for all friendlies, that you know, they get that increase, which is also very good. I have to mention for the res pen increase, because SW9s does a decent amount through her abilities already. And then for every one punch line taken into account, the number of damage instances dealt by the elation skill increases by 1 up to a maximum of 40. So it is what it is. Now moving over to Yao Guang, and honestly, E1 is really good. In Aha's extra turn triggered by the ultimate, the fixed amount of punchline taken into account increases by 40 when dealing elation damage. All allied targets ignore 20% of the target's defense. This is really good if you do plan on just getting Yao Guang for just one of them, if not both of them. It is a fantastic ability to allow your teammates to ignore defense. That goes without saying, but you can see there is really no punchline generation. The fixed amount of punchline taken into account increases to 40. Whether or not that actually works all the way to where you get that 40 instantly, and that equates to 40 for the oh my god, I'm already blanking on the name, but the I'm dumb. I already closed the window. But for Silver Wolf 9s, I'm not 100% sure. I know we have leakers doing videos and all that, but you know, that it's to be determined based on once we get into the actual, you know, release of the beta or of the patch. Next, E2 is while the zone is active, all allies are going to have their speed increased and then elation increase by 16%. That's good. The speed is, you know, it is what it is if you really want to reach those breakpoints for, you know, zero cycling stuff, but the elation bonus is actually pretty decent. E4 is stating that while you're in the aha extra turn, the damage dealt by all ally characters elation skill becomes 150% of the original damage. That is very good for, again, the supporting capabilities. And then E6 is that all ally targets elation damage Mary makes by 25%, and the Mary Mix is a special effect that affects elation damage and can additionally boost the elation damage dealt multiplier of Yao Guang's elation skill. So and then I guess I'll also go over Sparxie's Lycone as well. Increases her own damage by 48%, and then for every 1 skill point to wear, it enables more damage boosting for herself, and all allies elation is going to increase by 20%. So let's take a roundabout way and look at exactly what we're dealing with and where honestly target endpoints are for character or for people who do want to actually spend money, not a lot, but to get to, you know, certain points to further enable teams that they plan on getting. I highly recommend getting both their Lycones, more so probably Yao Guang's, given the fact that you are going to be increasing the crit rate and the crit damage of all allies on your team, and that's good for both. Really good for Evanescea with the crit damage increase. Sparxie's is okay. You're doing a lot for her own individual kit, and then for the allies, you're going to increase the elation damage dealt. For Eidolons, Sparxie E2 is the stopping point. You get E2, that's you're maximizing not only her own individual abilities on the team, but you're also further maximizing what Silver Wolf 9s is going to be capable of doing. 4 and 6 just boost her own individual damage. Yao Guang is a little bit of a trickier situation, and the reason why I say that is while 6, 4, and 2 are really good and allow more supporting capabilities for the team, E1 is just really good, allowing the elation damage just in general that you do for the entire team in the aha instant is going to ignore 20% of the target's defense. That is fantastic. And then, like I said, if this does equate to Silver Wolf 9s, then that's also really good for her. But I do have to say that personally speaking, I do plan on running Yao Guang with Evanescea and then Sparksy with SW9s to allow more team variety. But that's what I would recommend. E2 Sparksy for SW9 wanters, and then an E1 Yao Guang for Evanescea wanters, and I do recommend everybody getting their light cones. But if you had to target a specific light cone, then I would say Yao Guang's is more valuable for what it does for the entire team. That's gonna be all, guys. I'll see you all within the next video.